Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to be here amongst the IDC family, and I'm excited to be talking to a non-product related presentation, often what's referred to as the bloodline of our industry, and that is our clients, cultivating referrals and developing engaged clients. Every advisor wants to succeed in their own terms, and at the end of the day, there's no better way to succeed than to be having some really good referrals. Most of us have a general idea on how to succeed, yet some of us struggle. Why? There is a breakdown in the execution of plan. So why not develop a plan that starts with cultivating referrals and, of course, which will in turn develop engaged clients. Many of you may have heard this and seen this slide before. 43% of Canadians own individual life insurance, many of which own group, but we all know how group fits in. It's a great base for protection, but it isn't controlled or owned by the client. And it's generally very low in portability. So what does this really mean? What does this 43% really mean to us today as far as the opportunity? What it really means is that 57% of Canadians don't own individual insurance. And that really represents a huge opportunities to meet new clients, engage new clients, get referrals. So if 57% of Canadians don't own individual insurance, and there is roughly 35 to 37 million Canadians, that means 20 million Canadians don't own individual insurance. Think about that. 20 million Canadians was actually the population of Canada in 1967. Consider the fact that the average person makes between 7 to 13 purchases of life and related insurance over a lifetime. So basically, this represents an unlimited opportunity. Does this mean clients are not interested in insurance? Why haven't they bought? It's actually quite the contrary. 1 in 3 Canadians have determined and have come to the conclusion that they need more insurance or they don't have enough, but they just don't have a trusted advisor they've spoken to in the past. And they need somebody that's going to help them and guide them through the process. So this is a great opportunity for all you guys. And it's a bigger opportunity when it comes to critical illness. With only 800,000 policies sold or in force, that means that that's only a small Canadian portion that owns critical illness, but yet 78% of Canadians are concerned about living costs if they become ill. So at the end of the day, the opportunity is in your hands. Now, some of you might be saying, well, COVID has made things difficult. You know, what has the pandemic done? At the end of the day, COVID-19 and the pandemic has created an awareness among middle market clients, letting them realize that they need life insurance. People have realized that how important it is to own critical illness, to own life insurance, and that there is no time like the present. So the opportunity is yours. Let's figure out a way that we can mutually help each other in getting these referrals and getting people the much needed insurance they need. But first, before I move on to the topic of the day, I do want to quickly recap branding, because branding and cultivating referrals, they go hand in hand. So you have an existing brand, whether you like it or not. Your marketing brand can either be individually or it can be as part of a team. So if you brand individually, that's more like you're in control of your brand, sink or swim. Sometimes you have a brand by default, very much like myself. You know, people know me as Josie, and my brand is the Ivari brand because I've been with Ivari for a really long time. Or many of you might brand as part of a team. You're part of IDC. That's the business strategy, right? You're in association with a distributor. So you're borrowing an existing brand and you're making it your own and you're using it to your advantage. And you can also, of course, brand yourself behind one of the carriers or manufacturers you use, because at the end of the day, their products become you and you become their products. So you need to figure out what resources, time, money, effort you're prepared to put into your brand in order to make it a success. Now, some experts might say that there's really 3 reasons why a client will choose to work with you. Number 1 reason is your competitive advantage. That is that perhaps you have a unique product, specialized knowledge, better tools. That's something that will differentiate you. Number 2 is the strategic differentiator. So meaning perhaps you belong to a culture, language, your geographic location, or you have sophisticated planning. That, of course, is something that's also going to differentiate you. Last but not least, you have a unique value proposition. How you package your services or how you strategize and what defines you and what you bring to the table is your unique value proposition. So there's some factors that will not differentiate you. It's what we call table stakes, such as your trust, your experience, your credentials, your customer service. Well, we all want to give good customer service. I haven't heard of a person that doesn't give good customer service, because if you don't give good customer service, chances are you're not going to succeed. Retirement planning, financial planning, these are all table stakes that are not going to differentiate you. Now, Sally Hogshead says that good branding embeds emotional triggers that attract prospect, and you can leverage your own natural resources. She outlines 7 triggers that can make your brand more captivating. And you can go to her website at www.sallyhogshead.com, and you're able to take a personality test that will actually show you what your branding is. But these on the screen are the 7 credentials that she talks about. Now, another great expert in the subject matter, Ryan Caligiuri, talks about marketing cowardice. What is that? Many advisors reject branding or having to brand because they don't see any proven results in branding. It's true that many advisors spend time and money and do exactly what everyone else does, but at the end of the day, people don't want to brand themselves because there is this fear that perhaps they're going to fail, they're not going to succeed. And as you can see here, there's some symptoms, which is that fear of criticism or the need to please. And on the other side, there's the treatments to that. So Caligiuri discusses the need to avoid marketing cowardice, as it's a form of conventional wisdom handed down from, veterans to green people, to young students. At the end of the day, it's all about the ability to make an impact. And we just have to let ourselves go and say, you know what? Yes, status quo is easy to stay within the status quo, but to try something new and to try something different is really what's going to make a difference. So why is cultivating referrals so important? Why is this important to you as an advisor? My intent today is to examine why effective, predictable referral marketing is so elusive, and to give you some insight into what needs to be in place before you can reasonably expect to be referred to others or by others. I'll give you a deeper understanding of the components involved and help you build a framework for developing potential solutions. So here are some of the major reasons why cultivating referrals is so important to building a successful business. At the end of the day, referrals will decrease your marketing cost. Referred clients will purchase multiple products and make for larger accounts because there's that rapport and that trusted relationship. Referred prospects are easier to convert and persist longer than the new leads. And referred clients tend to refer other clients that are like-minded and people that you can have a likelihood to. I also consider that marketing through referral frees up a lot of your time. It lets you concentrate in your business. So systematic referral processes can literally double up your business. So this is why it's so important, because at the end of the day, it's just going to increase the quality of your business, free up your time so you can actually make the sales that you need to make. So what are we going to talk about today? Today, we're going to look at why asking isn't enough and where is the resistance when it comes to asking for referrals. How do we make ourselves more referable? What does it take to make our clients become engaged clients in the process? And how will these clients talk about you without being prompted? There are three major components to the referral equation. Setting the stage for becoming referable, which takes the most effort. The process for generating referrals, where you wish to wait for them or where they just come to you. Or actually, how to make contact with a referral. So these are all the things that we're going to talk about today. Let's face it, today's advisors are skeptical about being able to obtain referral on a consistent basis with a reasonable sense of integrity and comfort. We know that we should be getting referrals. We know we should be asking for referral, but it rarely seems to work out for many. With all the marketing hype and sales pitches people receive each day, everyone is a little bit jaded when someone asks for a referral. So it is any wonder that it makes us uncomfortable, and it makes for a very uncomfortable experience. So what is the best way to approach a referral or to become referable? At the end of the day, a personal introduction remains the most powerful prospecting tool there is. Yet, it remains the least utilized method advisors use for developing clientele. The simple truth is that not only a small number of clients provide their advisor with referrals, although research shows that many clients, under the right circumstances, are willing to give referrals. It's important to note that there is a difference between a referral and a personal introduction. You say, Josie, what is the simple difference? The simple difference is that a referral is a cold lead. It's like making a cold call, whereas a personal introduction is a warm lead that's been extended by a trusted source. Advisors are looking for a better understanding on the conditions that need to be in place for generating them. So you're all looking to figure out a way to get meaningful referrals. Most of us experience a level of pain and shame when we ask for a referral, because we're usually met with several responses that I'm sure a lot of people on the line are accustomed to hearing. I don't know anyone who might be in the market, or I don't give out names, but give me some of your business cards and I'll make sure that I pass them on. How does that sound? Does that sound about right? This is the kind of experience that many of us have had, and it makes us feel, how does it make us feel? That's really a rhetorical question. We know how it makes us feel. We don't like it. It makes us feel like we're begging, and we don't want to look that way. We feel that if we're asking for a referral, we're almost looking like we haven't succeeded on our own, that we need to beg someone for a name so we can call somebody else. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. Research suggests that we become conditioned to think that asking for a referral makes us look desperate or like we're begging. And we take into consideration the potential to offend a client or possibly disturb an existing piece of business or relationship. We just don't ask. But there's more to it. Could it be that we're asking at the wrong time and we're asking the wrong people? Asking for a referral is a broad and general request that gives the appearance that anyone will do. A personal introduction, however, is a specific and defined way to get that personal introduction. And we'll touch upon that in a few slides. Consider for a moment why may be the dominant reason people hesitate to give meaningful referrals. People define themselves to a large extent through the relationship they have with others. Exposing respected and influential relationship to a potentially uncomfortable or embarrassing experience, or reputation, or social status for that matter. These are all things that we care and we don't want to be exposed to. There's very little upside and huge downside. The payoff just isn't big enough to take the risk, particularly if the motivation of the person asking is commercial. So let me give you some quick ideas on how it sounds and how people approach the referral game and how one little scenario can make a difference versus another scenario. So let's take a look at commercial example number one. You're going about your day when a doctor calls and says, most of us will not be impressed in getting a call such as this because sometimes it sounds ridiculous, but yet this has happened. And it's just uncomfortable when it comes from a professional, although it's commonly expected to not to come from a professional. So let's read this one. Hi, this is Dr. Pillpusher from MDS Clinic. A mutual acquaintance, John Smith, was in my office the other day for a physical and your name was mentioned. I'm expanding my practice and he suggested I give you a call. I have no idea if our service would be of interest to you at the moment, but our practice specializes in treating many of the illnesses people of your age typically have, and we'd be happy to help you assess your health. When might you be available for an appointment? This makes for that uncomfortable situation. It doesn't sound professional. And there's a particular part in this particular commercial where it says, I have no idea if our services. So already there, it's a questionable approach. Let's look at approach number two. So you're busy and you're going by your day again, and you get a call such as this. Hi, John, I'm with ABC Auto Shop. How are you today? We recently did some major repair work on your neighbor, Dave Peters' car, and understand you and Dave are curling buddies. I'm a curly fan myself and like to get out a couple times a week. Anyway, Dave suggested that your car is looking pretty tired these days, so we'd like to set up a time for you to bring your car in to our shop so we can take a look at it. If we can show you how to improve its performance, there might be a reason for you to become a customer. How do you think that would make a customer feel? It's almost like as if you're putting down somebody's car. It's like a name dropping does not turn someone into wanting to have their car looked after. This doesn't give that warm and fuzzy feeling that somebody would respond well to this kind of scenario. Name dropping does not turn a telemarketer promoting product or service into a credible, professional, or believable approach. Let's take a look at commercial number three. As ridiculous as some of these examples might look, especially the previous two examples, let's bring this a little closer to home with a common and real approach used by many of us out there. So imagine you're a busy executive with a to-do list a mile long, and you have meetings all day as you're juggling tasks and trying to, get through your day. Before you know it, it's 8 o'clock at night. You pick up the phone and this is what you hear on the other side. Hi, Rob, this is Frank Clueless with FJC Advisors. Do you have a moment to speak on the phone? I've recently done some work with George and Martha Adams, and they mentioned your name as someone I should meet. I'd like to get together with you and offer you a free financial assessment. It's real possible that I might be able to save you some money, and I might be able to give you some insurance expertise. How about Wednesday morning or Thursday afternoon? Would that work for you? Would that be a better time for you? So this one is definitely better than the previous two, but just keep in mind, because now I want to bring together the fourth one to see which one strikes you as being the best. Making a telemarketing sales pitch to an unprepared referral versus managing a professional approach to a personal introduction is really what's going to make a difference. So let's take a look at what Dr. Goodhart has to say. Hi, Dave. My name is Dr. Rob Goodhart. I'm the fellow John and Mary Smith mentioned in that brief note you received from them recently. You may still have it. I was wondering if you had 20 minutes one morning, maybe just before you start work, that I could buy you a cup of coffee, complete the introduction they started, and show you what I can do and what work I do. Meeting new people is usually a pleasure, and it would give us a chance to get to know each other a little. Should I do should what I do become important to you in one way? What time do you start work in the morning, Dave? So you can really see the difference here, the tone. You can see the difference between the way Dr. Goodhart makes his approach versus Dr. Pilpusher in the one before. Now, getting such a call might be a little bizarre in North American culture, but I'm just illustrating some of the good points that are here. I was wondering if you had 20 minutes. So he just said an agenda. Well, let's have it over a cup of coffee. John and Mary Smith introduced us. They sent you a note. So that's a warm lead. So that's really a nice referral, right? It's a personal introduction. And the fact that, there's something that I might have that's going to make a difference. And then at the end, he closes it off by saying, what time do you start work in the morning? Is there a time that that best suits you, that we can work and meet up and talk about what I can do for you? And because they received a note from Mary and John Smith, who probably just said, what a great job Dr. Goodhart did with us, is really going to make a huge difference. So what's the difference between all the examples and the last one? Well, at the end of the day, there's a process in play. What the difference is that Dr. Goodhart did some prep work before making the call. The first thing Dr. Goodhart did was really do his homework. He took steps to ensure Dave fit the profile of an ideal patient for his practice before asking for an introduction. And by having someone of influence, like Mary and John Smith, start the introduction before he made the contact, makes him very credible. And also, he was expecting the call. The second thing that he did was he made it personal. This was not a business call. It was from a medical clinic. It was personal from the doctor. The third thing he did was focus on what he was asking for, the completion of a personal introduction, nothing else. I'm not selling anything. I'm not soliciting anything. I am just merely making an introduction. The fourth thing he did was define the time. As I mentioned, the agenda, 20 minutes. Is there a convenient time that we can meet up over a cup of coffee? And last but not least, he removed tension. He made it more friendly. He made it a nice little call conversation. What is missing from our example, but remains critically important, is how Dr. Goodhart is going to help Dave discover for himself the value of becoming a patient in a 20-minute face-to-face meeting or virtual call or Zoom meeting, whatever that might be. Your business coach, if you have one, can teach you some of these processes, or we have a wealth of information at ivari.ca that can help you with this if you have a code with us and you're able to log into our website. Or you can call any one of the local sales directors and we can give you a hand with this information. Now it's time to do a quick reality check. So really managing our expectations when it comes to referrals. There are many perspectives on how to generate referrals, but the first thing you should consider is to remove the word referral from your vocabulary when communicating with your clients. Use it only when communicating within the industry, but not necessarily with a new prospect. People subconsciously bristle at the word. It's impersonal and subliminally suggests that you're asking a little more than a name or contact, or perhaps that you want to sell something. Other selection criteria appear unimportant. On the other hand, a personal introduction from someone with even a modest amount of influence to another individual that has common ideals, common beliefs, can go a really long way, and it can define the relationship. Whether you choose to ask for that introduction or wait for it to be offered, stay focused on the introduction and not the potential sale. It's always about meeting that person, having that chat, clicking with the person, and then moving forward and having another meeting. Here are 4 hard realities for effective referral marketing. Number one, meaningful referrals are earned, and no amount of manipulation techniques will change that. Number two, meaningful referrals come from creating value beyond the delivery of a product or service. We can all pitch a product for a product. We all know what a term 10 does. We all know that it's cheap, but it doesn't bring value beyond product. Number three, generating meaningful referral is a process that requires an engaged relationship, focused business model. It just doesn't happen right away. It's built over time. And last but not least, reality number four, a meaningful referral is a discrete event rooted in the transfer of personal trust and credibility between one or more individuals. These are the four realities of referrals. What happens before you ask is truly critical. Controversy exists around the professionalism or whether or not to ask for a referral. But at the end of the day, if you're doing a great job and you're providing the right service to your existing client base, asking should not elude you. One thing is for sure, is that when you ask, how you ask, who you ask, certainly have a lot to do with what results you're going to get. That part of the process that can be learned through training and practice. Each is important, but not the solution. The solution to the process is what happens before you ask. It's like dating, no different. Asking is not the issue. In fact, when it's done appropriately with the right person under the right circumstances and at the right time, you will make for a credible experience that is more than welcomed. So don't get ahead of yourself. Asking at the wrong time or prematurely is where we're going to get the pain and the rejection. Marketing, having a business plan is the key to success for every one of us, be it an advisor, be it a sales director like myself. Having a business plan and having a marketing idea in place is really what's going to make the difference. Marketing can also be the weakest link for most of us. A lot of us put too much effort into marketing, too many resources, too much cost, and really doesn't get us anywhere. For many, it can be a big black hole in which to throw advertising dollars, spend money with little or no result. Referral marketing is the least expensive and most effective way of gaining clientele, building business slowly but surely. Of all the financial advisors who have entered the business and subsequently left, most will tell you it wasn't because they lacked product knowledge, because they were incredible, because they didn't have good customer service, because they didn't have good problem-solving skills, or a desire to succeed. Most of them left because they weren't able to build referrals. They weren't able to build their book. Statistics tell us that these qualities exceed in the vast majority for those who enter the business. What was missing was to get the ability to get in front of the right people often enough to grow their business. The trick is to get more like-minded people like yourself. If you surround yourself with people that think like you, act like you, those are going to be the easiest clients to bring on board. And those are going to be the clients that at the end of the day will give you the referrals you so desperately need, want, and it doesn't have to be hard. We are taught that in order to be successful, we must be unique and always be promoting. Sometimes we do silly things or use silly tactics, like ending a conversation with, "Don't keep me a secret," not recognizing that the only time such as a statement is appropriate is as far as you've been personally complimented on the work you do. Use it in any other time. Sometimes can become irritating, self-serving, and largely ignored. Some of us have been taught to put a short infomercial on our inbound voicemail messages or at the bottom of our email signature or somewhere on our website or on our printed material declaring that we're always open to accepting referrals. Well, who wouldn't be? There's no uniqueness in that. You can almost hear the duh when a consumer reads, don't keep me a secret. The subliminal meaning behind the practice suggests that advisor, are just putting that out there just in case it will do something. And if you feel necessary to say anywhere in your marketing material that you have integrity and can be trusted to do the right thing, then you've missed the boat altogether. Because at the end of the day, those are all things we have to be in order to become successful. Referral marketing is a process. There's no trick. Experts refer to as a science. There may be a small amount of artistic personality that is not an easily transferable skill, but the bulk of the process is just hard work. We need to avoid the gimmicks. We need to set the stage to become referable. Earning the right to receive meaningful referrals, it's not about gimmicks. It's all about building a rapport, having engaged clients, which at the end of the day will provide you with meaningful referrals. You don't need to walk on water or move mountains to deliver real value. Just focus on the delivery, an experience that is positive. It's all about experience. How is it that people spend $2 to $3 more at a coffee at a Starbucks versus a Tim Hortons? It's all about the experience. It's all about the personalization. Today's middle market consumers like the feel personalized. They like a personalized solution and deliver value beyond a product. Exactly how much value is a business decision and dependent on the circumstances that gets your clients engaged. Engaged clients feel a sense of predictability, which removes fear and it builds trust. An appropriate request for a personal introduction to someone who fits a specific profile is perfectly fine, right? And as long as it's asked at the right time. However, nagging, manipulation, or cheesy opportunistic approaches are not a sign of professionalism. If you tried once or twice with a client and it hasn't gotten you anywhere, chances are it's just not going to work out. So what can you take away from what I just told you in the past 35 minutes? Stop pitching a product as the dominant thing you do. Every advisor can sell a product. Change the way you work. Don't be afraid to break the status quo. Change is good. If you can change something, that means you're adaptable. Adaptable people usually are very successful. And if referral marketing eludes you, investing in turning the problem into a process, that's no longer a problem. So let's start looking at how does referral actually happen, so we can see how we can engage our clients. So here we're going to look at an expert. Her name is Julie Littlechild. She was part of Advisor Impact, and she conducted a study in 2010 called The Anatomy of Referrals. And she arrived at some really neat conclusion. Littlechild found that 57% of clients who referred did so because of a friend described a financial challenge, and 48% did so because a friend asked for one. Only 2% of referrals were provided because the advisor actually asked for the referral. So on the surface, one might conclude from the number that asking doesn't work. But is that the case? No. The reality is maybe nobody's asking. Because in the next steps of her report, she tells us that 82% of clients said that they've never been asked for a referral. That's a huge number, and should tell everyone that there's some flaws here. In fact, only 16% said that they're occasionally asked for a referral, and just 2% said they're regularly asked for referrals. It should be noted that repeatedly ask the same person for a referral obviously isn't going to work. It's actually more damaging to the relationship than anything else. Added to the mystery, the report also added various levels. Over 3/4 of clients gave their advisors an average satisfaction of 8 out of 10. 90% of clients are somewhat or extremely likely to continue working with their same advisors. 83% of the clients are comfortable providing a referral, yet only 29% of clients have actually ever provided a referral. So why? Where is the mystery? The mystery all lies with the engaged clients. This graph is extremely telling. You'll notice that the percentage of those who responded are relatively, with the exception of a few, disgruntled or didn't understand the questions. You can ignore most of the disgruntled first row. However, look at the similarities in the first three columns. Those who are complacent, content, and engaged all share similar numbers. Now look at the huge difference in the last column. Complacent clients will offer you nothing, and even those who are disgruntled. However, at the bottom right-hand corner is where all the magic appears. 100% of engaged clients are the clients that are most likely to provide you with a meaningful referral, with a personal introduction that's above and beyond a referral because it's not a cold call. But how do we achieve engaged clients? So the critical driver is to engage our clients. And it all starts with working with the right clients. We shouldn't just work with anyone. We should actually pick and choose our clients, because clients that are like-minded, clients that have similar interests, passions, hobbies, are usually the clients that are going to become clients forever. And having the right conversation and asking the right questions is really at the heart of everything. The report examined the critical component of engaged clients. Above all, it's critical to remember that increasing referrals starts with building a deep foundation with your existing clients, because they're the ones that are most likely to give you a personal introduction. Clients must be engaged before they volunteer or offer a warm lead. The report identified that critical drivers of client engagements are working with the right clients, having the right conversation, and asking the right questions. Those are three takeaways that you must pinpoint all the time. There are a variety of ways to gather feedback, and feedback is really important in cultivating engaged clients. But one of the most critical ways is through a written survey process. Written surveys allow one to constantly gather information about their clients, and it enables you to recognize a range of issues that can be tracked over time. Client feedback also helps you to engage clients in meaningful dialogues about those things that are most important to them and demonstrate commitment and relationship. It also helps identify those clients who are comfortable with providing referrals. And chances are that if a client will give you one referral, they're very adaptable and easy to give you more than one. So let's now meet Annette. Annette is going to provide us, she's an expert, a long-time multi-million-dollar producing veteran in the financial services industry, and she's also a published author. She's going to provide us with some strategies to help us make our clients engaged, which in the end will give us those meaningful personal introductions. So we're just going to call her Annette for privacy reason. She states that initially in her career, she would work with anyone. Her more frustrating experiences were usually associated to advising people she had few things in common with, and she found it very difficult to keep those clients. By changing the way she worked through the following 7 strategies that I will share with you today, she experienced a significant increase in unsolicited referrals and rapid growth to her practice. Strategy number 1, define who you want to work with. The more specific, the better. At the end of the day, you want to fish from a pond and you want to fish and attract the right fish. Define who you want to work with. By working with a group of people with similar needs and life experiences, as I mentioned before, like-minded individuals, people that share the same passions, hobbies as yourself, she was able to relate better with those who shaped her core practice. She learned a lot about their specific needs and provided them with better service because they were all at the same level. Her core clients noticed this and soon began giving her qualified referrals without her having to ask for them. And that's a real champion. If a client is willing to give you a referral without you having to ask for it, that's a true success. And I've experienced that myself. A few years ago, we hired a landscaper and he just did a phenomenal job. I was so happy with the end result that me talking about this landscaper, he didn't have to ask me for a referral. I actually volunteered his information to people and literally said, you know what, if you need anything done, Peter's the right person to ask. So because we built this rapport and because, you know, every time I needed something, he would come out and fix it without any question, I was willing to just give his number away without anybody even asking me. And that's really powerful. Strategy number 2, you must have a marketing strategy, a business plan. Every business needs a business plan because having a business plan makes it easier to spread the word. Annette recognized that many of her friends, acquaintances, and even relatives didn't really know what she did, what her job was. So she created a process for explaining her work in a casual manner. So even if she ran into somebody at the grocery store or at the coffee shop, she could put in a 1 or 2 sentence just to kind of say what she did. Explaining her work in a casual manner allowed her to generate more business. It didn't happen immediately, but the more people clearly understood what she did, the more likely that she would get referrals. How many people here today on the line, on this presentation, have had the experience when somebody said to them, oh, I didn't know you sold insurance? Because most people don't know what you do. Don't take it for granted. Don't assume that people know what you do. So her point is that to be sure to paint a clear picture of who you are and what you do. For example, I help affluent widowed women create financial plans to ensure their security and protection. Or I help couples approaching retirement maximize their assets so they can make money while they're traveling. So it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It's what we refer to as an elevator speech. And every successful advisor should have an elevator speech. Every one of us should have a 1 sentence that defines who we are. No matter if we're talking to a client, an acquaintance, a longtime friend, within a sentence, we should be able to say what we do. And you know what? It doesn't have to sound canned or like scripted, because at the end of the day, if that 1 sentence describes who you are as a passion, who you are and what you bring to the table, you've made a statement, and that's really important. Strategy number 3, use a custom survey questionnaire. Survey your clients. They are the source of your wealth. They are your bread and butter. Basically, what you're doing is you're interviewing your center of influences, your prospects, your clients, your base, and you're asking them for ideas. You're asking your clients for suggestions, for feedback. Annette would ask for insight about what she had done for them and what value they felt she brought to the table. Then she can duplicate that with somebody else. And it just made her a stronger and a better financial advisor. She created a sense of participation and engagement amongst their clients. And at the end of the day, what she did is she harvested opinions, and she was able to meet more expectation because she asked questions and she asked for feedback. Strategy number 4, show appreciation. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. If somebody shares a referral or if somebody extends a warm invitation, a warm lead, a personal introduction, say thank you. Instead of asking or even a personalized note that just says, thank you so much, it will go a long way. Thank your referrals. In this case with Annette, she thanks her affluent widows and divorcees when they give her a lead. By changing a general request to a specific thank you, something amazing happens. Everybody likes to feel appreciated. Or perhaps do a general blanket thank you newsletter where you let all your clients know that you're thanking anyone for taking the time to make a personal introduction. So by removing an intentional perception of pleading for business, now it's become something easy, something that she can do without expectation. She learned that people will help where least expected. And if they're appreciated, they'll do it that much easier. Strategy number 5, share referrals, perhaps networking. This strategy can be really effective in getting referrals from other professionals. But the key is to actually engage with a referral, with a professional that is like-minded like you, that has the same beliefs, the same professionalism, the same passions. And Annette cautions not to turn a reciprocal arrangement into a business negotiation. Enter into a reciprocal referral relationship with a professional that is the right professional for you, meaning that they will treat your clients the way you treat your clients, and you will treat their clients the same way they treat their clients. It's reciprocal, and in turn, it will generate business. Remember that your number one concern is to have the other professional make you look good without even trying. It works well when both professionals are on the same level. It's reciprocal, and it's an arrangement that works both ways. At the end of the day, you're both interested in building the right relationships. Strategy number 6, create a relationship marketing campaign. When you're friendly, transparent, responsive, sincere, honest, you will automatically engage clients. Your clients will feel that. Your referrals will just come. It can be very gratifying when clients take it upon themselves to champion you, as I champion Peter, my landscaper. Relationships marketing breeds referrals, and it should be an integral part of your marketing plan. As I said before, having a business plan is key to your business. Last but not least, strategy number 7, create an advisor follow-up system. Stay in touch with your clients. This strategy became a huge success for Annette. Once she created a system, invest the money in a system where you can keep all your clients' information handy, where you have all your data together. At the end of the day, being able to follow up on a key conversation or something as simple as birthday reminders, having that systematic automated information is really important because it will help you replace conversations with ongoing dialogues. Annette would frequently have heartfelt messages and nurtured and developed the relationship that she had begun. She strengthened relationship by replacing conversation with real meaningful dialogues. She discovered the conversations tend to have a beginning and an end. Dialogues never end. You can always pick up a conversation here and there, but a dialogue can be kept forever because you can always come back to it. Having an ongoing open dialogue is really important. And by using all these strategies, it will help you build the basics to engaging clients. So out of everything I've mentioned today, that I've talked to you today, what can you take away? Stop pitching a product as the only thing you do, because a product is a product is a product. a term 10, a term 20. It's all commodity. It's easy. It's sold on price. But if you provide a personalized solution for your client, it's very hard to break down because a personalized solution will bring value beyond a product. Next, promote active client engagement through positive, important, memorable experiences. At the end of the day, engage your clients. Use those surveys. Use those thank you. Engage feedback. Get that feedback. Asking clients how they feel, what they liked, what they didn't like, shows that you're interested in what they care about. You're bringing value beyond anything, and you're making a memorable experience. And last but not least, if referral marketing eludes you, invest in turning the problem into a process, and it will no longer be a problem. So what I'm trying to say is invest the time in building the relationship and ask for meaningful referrals at the right time, at the right place. And when you've developed a common base of clients that are easy to talk to, and they will champion you without you having to say so, that will develop engaged clients that will give you those warm leads. A warm lead is so important because it will not be a cold introduction and it will not be met with rejection. So thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. Mark, are there any questions on the line, on the Q&A or the chat, or is there anyone that is interested in unmuting and asking any questions? I have a question here. Can you share an example of a process to resolve the problem? Yes, that's the process I was talking about. Let's say engaging your clients in feedback, creating a survey or a quarterly newsletter and asking your clients, you know, what can I do different? How can I, what else can I provide that I'm already not providing? Is it perhaps, you know, creating a survey to ask your clients what they want to do? What would they like different? Would they like a quarterly newsletter? Would they like a once a year touch point? That's really, it's really creating a process around your business, right? Having those strategies in place. Somebody gives you a referral, having that thank you letter ready to go, a thank you note, dropping it into your database so that you make note, or even something, you know, having a marketing process where you put in, let's say you give somebody a gift, you note that down, gave Mr. Mary and John Smith tickets to the Blue Jays game as a thank you for a referral. Then you know that's what you've done. That can open up the dialogue for the next conversation. How was the game, John and Mary? Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your referral. It was really appreciated. So that's really, it's about putting together a process and following the process. So that's really it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and I'll let you go so you can jump into your next session. Take care.